Now let's go to our agenda here, which has been so nicely held on by the device. All right. All right, we're gonna talk about Copilot AI Rewind, and how that stands in with the any tech stance of certain people. All right, let's head on over to the news site NTB. All right, and I actually want to start off with some positive news. And if I hadn't been kicked off, I'd be yelling at them right now. Speaking of social media websites, we promised you that we were going to bring you a social media site in May, and we have brought it. We're just acquiring the funds to purchase the software to host the site, but we already have our domain, not the boy. Obviously, not inspired by, not the bee. All right. And it's going to be a pro tech Christian social site. So imagine here, just online social media. All right, so there we go. So here we have a pro tech article that I want to show you here. Actually, it's an interesting take here because usually from some people over on the site, it's kind of like, well, see, we don't want screens and projectors, blah 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 blah. And then I go in and I'm like, why not? And whatever. Like we want to bring out hymnals or whatever. Anyway, this article here, which I hope you can see on the screen, it's just about some typical Christian song getting played on ABC, American Idol, whatever. I don't really care about the song. Anyway, here we have the second. The staging, the lighting, the sound, the singers, and the music was top notch. Okay, now let's keep this in mind here. Imagine that this is a pro technology stance. I mean, he's complimenting the screen and the lighting, which I'm going to mute this here because copyright. Let's look at the screen here. And it's taking some time to load. But I mean, I've never heard of that before. I've never heard of anyone actually complimenting the screen. I mean, look at this. It's amazing. But I've never heard of anyone. That's the screen. That's not real. And the lighting. I've never heard of anyone actually going in and saying, "Hey guys, look, the screen looks good." And like, we don't need a screen or electricity. All we need is nothing. I mean, it's in like literal every episode. You know what I mean? All right. But so I commend them for that pro tech stance. Unfortunately, here we have an anti-tech stance, which is kind of sad. Copilot Rewind, which I have not been able to play around with it yet. No, Recall. I've not been able to play around with it yet. Yes, Recall, not Rewind. Okay. I went to Best Buy and played around with some of the computers there that had AI plus Copilot integrations built in, but Recall was not in there yet. Okay, so here's the article about Recall on Copilot with Recall on Copilot written by Neo over at NTB. Here it is. Microsoft Windows, which they don't like Microsoft or Apple or Google. I think they like Samsung. I mean, Samsung never did anything to them. So it's any American tech company. South Korean ones are fine. Here we go. Microsoft Windows will soon begin remembering and understanding everything you do via constant screenshots. Okay, I didn't need any reason to stay away from Windows, but it sure was nice enough for Microsoft to give me one. Side note, and we will talk about this later on the podcast. I tried Mac OS. I went to the Apple store, and I like the Vision Pro, but the Mac OS and iOS, what are you doing? That is awful. Okay, recall by taking constant screenshots. Okay, it's the new pitch for the AI PC. It has a quote unquote photographic memory, and they can type in details about the file using the locate on the PC's digital memory chronologically. Right, these screenshots are stored on device, and they use AI to search through them on device using NPU in these new Copilot Plus PCs. Okay. First of all, this is a massive, huge overreaction from the site. First of all, the feature is offline. And here we just got some random reactions. And first of all, this doesn't even delve into anything. Like, this is basically a fear-mongering article. Okay, it says, I really don't need Microsoft tracking literally everything on my computer, even if it's quote-unquote local. First of all, it's local and it's encrypted. Okay? And they don't even notice the snooze feature particular feature period of time. Okay, first of all, if you're that's scared, you can turn it off, okay? Or you can just delete it, right? Would be digital forensics experts who would have to go on device and extract the software, which is kind of scary, right? Not going to lie. Okay, but first of all, forensic experts have been able to do this for a long time. Think about it. Everything on your computer already takes history. Your browser takes history. Windows Event Viewer can see what programs were launched. There are forensic programs I can go online right now and download that will extract the content of the RAM on the computer. It's free, okay? If you are the one person who uses Bing, they will be able to see your search history, right? So this is fear-mongering article here, and it shows an anti-tech stance that's annoying. Like Elon Musk, this is a Black Mirror episode, definitely turning this feature off. That's his choice, but he doesn't have to go around and scare people about it. The year of the Linux desktop, it beckons. No, it doesn't. No one wants to use a computer system. It looks like it was designed for the 90s. Linux on desktop it's been called in since I've been born, and it's never happened. So when did people give up the idea of making products that people want? This feels like an investment narrative-driven development. I want this. It'd be so much easier to search through a computer and do that. So I would like for some of these things for security, right? I'm not completely crazy. I would like that in order to use this thing, you have to verify if your Windows Hello biometric thing, and it better be encrypted. Better. Okay, I want this to be verified with your Windows Hello biometric thing. I don't want anyone just to be able to get onto your computer, start, typing anything. And I do like that it's all local. This sounds amazing for cyber criminals. That is true. If someone is able to figure out how to hack into it and search the entire hard drive for test entry, whatever. But the one thing that this article doesn't mention is you'll be able to block sensitive websites. So if you don't want it to save your browsing history, boom, that gets deleted. If you don't want it to search through photos, boom, you can block those specific apps on the computer. So if you just use a little bit of control, just a little bit of control, this is a great feature. Meanwhile, over Apple, Apple had some weird photo recovery thing, which I guess is great for digital forensic experts. But this is the problem. Last week we talked about Michael Knowles' 24 Ultra. Came out this week of him whining about the Apple ad for no good reason. You have a job. It's your job to report the news, right? It's not your job to report on some random Apple ad that Apple released and apologized for 2 days later, and then start coming up with these weird theories about how they put a Bible in the video, but then no one put it there. Whatever. It's an iPad ad, okay? Go do your job. There are better things to do. There's anti-tech stance it's simply annoying by sites and reporters like that I admire and respect tremendously. All right. But here we go. One of the other people over there, Matt Walsh, anti-AI stands, and I would like to shout out. What's your name? I forgot what it's called. Her name. Sorry, I forgot her name. Yes, Ashley St. Clair, who is in that calendar article thingy that was trending a few months ago. All right, so I would like to read to you something that he wrote. Where is it? Here it is. Here it is. Quote. All right. It's loading. Like, you want to be mad about something about tech? All right. So this is from the Wendy's is using AI to automate drive-through ordering, which is fine because those people can barely hear you anyway. Unpopular opinion, but there should probably be laws against this. AI is going to wipe out 80% of the jobs on the planet if we don't do something. And like, if you want to legalize something, legalize the use of AI to what's it called? To commit a crime, right? If you want to commit a crime using AI, and you do it and you follow through the crime, that's illegal, right? That's already illegal. But using AI to replace a job should not be illegal, okay? I mean, there will always be jobs for humans. And then when you go down into the replies, here's Ashley St. Clair, the lady. Call me idealistic, but there's a lot of room for us to get into autonomy back and create beauty again. There'll be a plethora of new industries that will hopefully replace obsolete jobs. I think, and then he responds, I think experience shows that us humans, on the whole, don't create beauty, but they have nothing to do. We've seen what happens as we become less necessary and have less to do. It's not a pretty picture. Well, but AI does everything would be beyond all imagining. Maybe he's right, but AI will not ever do everything for us. Okay, we're always going to want to do something, right? And second of all, did she ever reply? It's too early to be bleak. AI won't leave us with nothing to do. I don't think a repetitive, poopsy job because people do are very driven the population as it stands. Exactly. She's right. Okay, and then Joel Berry. We've had these same issues during the Industrial Revolution, and there is a painful adjustment period. But we benefited from it in the long run. Then there's more than saying that. Exactly. That's what I'm saying here. Like, if he lived back in the 1800s, and I know I'm quoting an overcome representative here, which sounds really bad for me. If he lived in the 1800s, I mean, he probably would have been against trains because it takes away the jobs of important stagecoach drivers and takes away the localized community, right? I mean, he just come out against social media for teenagers. Like, he just wants to illegalize literally everything. Like, that's his entire thing, which is fine when he's talking about the news. He's mostly right. But when it comes to people about tech, like, last year, when the Apple Vision Pro was released, he started talking about augmented reality, and he had no idea what he was yapping about. He was like, Apple wants to augment your reality, which means Apple thinks that your reality is boring and wants to make it better. No, that's not what augmented reality means. Augmented reality means it's going to overlay something on front of the screen so that you can be more productive, more useful, or watch a movie. And I've used Apple Vision Pro. I went on a demo in the Apple Store, and it was amazing. Now, when I buy one, no, it's a waste of money. It's $3,500, and I asked the guy. He was like, "I have a Meta." Like the guy who worked at Apple was like, "I have a Meta Vision Quest 3, right?" he went in there. I was able to play games on there, but I didn't really see a purposeful use of it except for watching movies. But we have a TV, we have phones. You can get your own VR headset. You can get your own glasses for $400. But it's neither here nor there. I'm saying he does not understand how this technology works. It's beneficial technology for people. Or it will be beneficial, especially when there's more competition in the space. He just doesn't understand technology. So his takes on technology are atrocious. Okay, he's like, I think we should ban, and I get it. Like, especially now that X allows you to make money off of posts and stuff. I also if I had that kind of phone, I could like say stupid stuff I can double down on, and then like I kind of sort of agree with. Yeah, sure. Like I think teenagers should be banned from social media. Like what? Okay, seriously, if you just make a law against that, which I don't get why you have to make all these laws for stuff. Just like go local or something. Like you can be anti-teenager on social media, right? Which I am and was and kind of still am not on it, but I just think it's like it's a waste of time to be on all day, like those Instagram reels and stuff like that. Like really, who has time to be watching that when you can be out doing something? Like I try to use the most powerful, productive apps on my phone. I didn't buy a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 phone to like watch TikTok all day. But that's not the point. No, I'd be okay with banning TikTok. No, I wouldn't be okay with banning TikTok. But I'm saying like banning them for teenagers because you say it's bad for them. Yeah, maybe, but that'd be even worse for them if you took it away and you try to like have all these people. But I've done research, and my research and experience qualifies as called being in school for multiple years, and which is more research than he's ever done because he was in school a long time ago. I'm saying like the people that primary users are using it to connect with their friends who move far away or switch schools, stuff like that, right? And all their friends, they don't live on the same street as they do. So this is the way that they can use to connect to them. Now, I don't know why they can't use SMS texting or anything like that, but I guess SMS texting is kind of bland and it's cheaper if you have Wi-Fi, which most schools have nowadays. If you don't have an unlimited data plan. But that's not the point. I'm saying that you can't just go around banning stuff just for the sake of banning stuff. AI has been a good impact on human civilization for now, right? Saying that I don't think there should be laws against using AI to replace someone's job as long as the job is done to the standard or better than the standard that it's given. And obviously, we shouldn't have him pushing for these laws, given that he does not understand how the technology works, or like he doesn't understand how augmented reality technology works. He thinks that all that phones should be banned for kids or something like that, which like a law, that's crazy. Okay. And social media should be banned for kids as a law, like age verification, which it's insanely crazy, and people just going to sign up from different countries anyway. Which he should know, given that for the past 5 years he's run VPN ads, though, which is crazy. Because I'm pretty sure if you asked him to explain how a VPN works, he wouldn't be able to do it. Which is fine. That's not his job. It's his job to report and analyze the news. The news, not AI tech replacing some random Wendy's worker. Okay. Second of all, there'll still be jobs required to maintain AI. There'll be jobs required to who do you think put the sign there in the first place? Who do you think put the sign there in the first place? If people want it and it's good, then they'll just be there. Okay. So if people want AI drive-thrus, then they'll be there, right? But there'll always have to be someone who has to install the AI-powered drive-thrus and manage it and monitor it and do all these jobs for it, right? And as Ashley was saying, people can go create more beautiful things. They can go create their own art. I mean, think about this. Even the AI art generators need seed prompts, okay? They need images from artists to work. They need for Ava Harper, they need my imagination and research to work. Okay, Ava Harper's not just growing out of these AI image generators for nothing. I have to go online, look up fashion trends. I have to do my research. I have to come up with my own prompts and things like that, right? Ava Harper's not just posting herself. I'm not sitting there and she's posting herself by herself, which would be neat if she could. Anyway, I still have to respond to comments and respond to messages and stuff like that, right? Human creativity will not be replaced by AI, and it will be fine. And we don't want to get behind to other nations that could potentially use the technology to hurt America just because we made it illegal or wanted to put a 6-month pause on it for now. We gotta go in now. We gotta go in and do our research, right? I don't think it's gonna be really dangerous. Like now maybe we shouldn't put AI in like weapons and leave them for sale right now. At least leave the weapons. That paintball AI looks pretty like that's not gonna kill anyone. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't leave them sell just for the government. But this AI technology, I think we should be investing in researching and developing it. Okay, like, could you imagine if we just sat around in the 70s, the 60s, 70s, and 80s and like, US that's right. They can go to the moon. We'll just use our computers. Like, yeah, we'll just use our human computers. Like, what if there was 4 people on the moon lander? Okay, so you had the astronauts, and then you just had some human computer on there who's doing the calculations to land on the moon. We all crashed and burned. But if we had a law that said, hey, you can't use a digital or analog computer to replace what a human computer can do, then we would have never made it to the moon. Which is one of the big accomplishments that he likes to talk about on the show, rightfully so, which is a big accomplishment for America. What if when cell phones and landlines that didn't need the operators to come out, he was like, hey, we should have a law that says no replacing operators in cell phones, and no replacing operators on landlines, and no replacing pay phones with cell phones, right? What if we had a law that said when cordless phones came out, hey, no replacing landlines with phones, with cordless phones, right? Then we would have been behind. We would have been behind in our technology, and we'd still be stuck in the 60s using rotary phones. Speaking of, like, what if they said, hey, we don't want rotary phones to go out of business. Move with the time. Technology has always changed, and America has still stood from 7. It still stands until 2025 and 2026. AI is not going to destroy us. It's not going to destroy the world. Okay, it's not going to lead to a mass group of teenagers sitting around with nothing to do. Anyway, right? Social media hasn't done that yet at all. Social media hasn't done that yet. Let's go back to our example. In the 1980s, computers were switching from CLIs to GUIs. What if there was a law that said, hey, we don't want that. We'd all be stuck using Windows Terminal like it's 1977. Unless, of course, you want the Linux from desktop to come. Then, of course, you're still stuck using the terminal. In 1990, right? We didn't say, hey, let's legalize the internet because we don't want libraries to go out of business. Guess what? It's 2024. Libraries are still here. There's still some down the street from me, and I could go and bike there if I had a bike, or take the train there if I wanted to. And guess what? Libraries are still used. People still like to read books because people are nostalgic, and there's also some information in books that isn't online, readily available because books are really big. And they also have computer centers there. So what I'm saying is, just like phones replaced the telegraph, and then phones developed into smartphones, cell phones and smartphones, and replaced landlines and PDAs and payphones, and just like the internet kind of replaced, the library, just going the encyclopedia and all of these places. Some of these things learn to coexist, like library and internet and books. Some of these things still exist, like landlines. Just most of them over VoIP now, or CLI computers, which still exist. You still have Windows Terminal, PowerShell, and the Linux Terminal, and all of this. Right? We've been through all of this before, and America still stood. The world still stood. Civilization still stood. And it's great. So we don't need to be so down and sad that some random Wendy's, and doesn't even say what state this is in. No, it doesn't. Fresh AI to automate drive-through ordering. Now, one argument he could say is, hey, well, it's now we don't have this human connection. Except, A, you're an introvert. You talk about that all the time. You don't really care about the human connection. You just want your fries and things like that. And do you see AI replacing fries and burger flippers? Kind of, but you go into any random Waffle House, McDonald's, you'll still see people. You'll still see people back there making the food, and they will still be back there making the food for the foreseeable future. And when AI does replace those jobs and makes it more sanitary, or if AI does come for jobs like surgery, things like that, there will be other jobs for them to move into. Never before, never has technology replaced a job, not created any new jobs. Let's say 1950, there's no computer was repairing electronic stores, not that many. Right now, since the 1980s, computers become popular. Desktop computers become popular. Guess what? You have electronic stores and computer repair shops. Right? Cell phone repair stores didn't exist until the cell phone exists, etc. When we get actual AI devices, which I did talk about on the podcast yesterday, though it was last week, so it's laggy, so I guess we can talk about that now. We do get actual AI devices and not scam ones like the Rabbit R1, and not a super expensive piece of junk like the Humane pen. Guess what? There's going to be a service for repairing those services, right? There's going to be a service for coding the next AI model. There's going to be all these kind of jobs that we haven't even dreamed up of because the technology hasn't been dreamed up yet. So what I'm saying is that, Matt Walsh, we cannot just run around and legalize everything that you don't like because you're scared it's going to replace jobs and cause the death of civilization. You can't just go running around and make stuff illegal. Okay? That's why you're not the king of America. All right, now, what's next on our list?